What's up, everybody? I'm Kristine Peter here with Peter Eichmann.
Hello, everybody.
And we're here to talk about the new Gears of War trailer. This is all focused on Horde 2.0.
5 against all.
Indeed. Now that obviously indicates that 5 team members working against everything that the Locusts have, or the Lambent have, because there are some Lambent here.
You get a good mix as you go.
And the song in the background is actually Ice-T's band Body Count, and they made a song called The Gears of War. So that's what you're listening to. Well, if you watch the actual trailer, that's what you'll be listening to.
That's what this is all played to. Now, once we open up on the first few seconds of this trailer, you're going to see, you know what everybody is, who everybody is, and what's going on. This is Horde mode. You are playing cooperatively together as 5 people, rocking against...
waves and waves of locusts.
Waves and waves of locusts. So you see your wretches, your locusts, grunts, your tickers.
These guys suck. And
These are things
right there
we know
you
about.
can see, obviously, there's a weapon skin. That's a big thing in Gears now, so you'll be able to make them look a little spiffier, should you so choose.
Yeah, we don't know how everything's going to be unlocked just yet. But here's the first taste of Gears of War 3 being
now, if
that...
you'd like to rewind it just a little bit. Now, Horde 2.0 is basically adding a little bit of tower defense to the mix. And that's what you'll see right here with this flag post, and it says number 5 on it. That is your command center. So you'll be able to pick one at the beginning of each round of Horde and sort of work from there. And this guy's got a boom shield.
He's got a boom shield. And as you go, what this Horde trailer doesn't talk about is that for every little kill you make, you're going to earn currency.
So that one right there, how much do you think that was?
I think that's probably a good 250.
Yeah. And
It's a nice shot.
This is a long shot, but she only gets his helmet, not his head. Bad shooting there.
And you'll notice right here another tip of the hat to what's coming in Gears of War 3, the sawed-off shotgun, which people said during the beta was cheap, but I think when you're on your 49th wave of Horde 2.0, you're not going to feel like it's cheap.
You're going to be like, thank God I have this gun.
And if you scroll back just to that wide-angle firefight, you're going to notice it's just the back of his head. But I think it's a good time to introduce. You will see a better view later, but this is Griffin in the foreground with the purple illuminated suit. And
right behind, or to the right of Marcus, I guess? Back and to the right?
Yeah, back and to the right, which is the character that will be voiced by Ice-T.
Yes. And you'll be able to find out how to unlock him later on in this trailer, actually.
Gives a little hint at it. And here we have more Cantus coming at us with their Gorgon pistols, things we're used to. Still, you know, the familiar before we get into the new.
Now, something very interesting back here is a sentry gun. So what happens is in between each round, there'll be options lit up for fortifications. So there'll be some place where it suggests that you could put a sentry there, or you could put a turret there, or you could put barbed wire there, whatever you want, basically. And so you'll have to purchase these using the money that you've been making killing stuff. So it looks like they went ahead and they purchased a sentry gun. Good for them. They've got a little bit of help.
And you'll notice here is a better view of Griffin, the character we just talked about. That
obviously the one that's not the girl.
Obviously, because we all know that's Anya.
Yes.
Now go
Stroud
ahead.
is killing a dude. Execution is still very much present here. Actually, this is a good time to talk about objectives. So randomly, I think there's usually 1 or 2 in every set of 10 rounds. There'll be an objective for you to meet that will get you more supplies. So one of them that I ran into was get 8 executions in 1 round. And so, you know, getting those is actually pretty important.
And it's tougher than it sounds, too, because obviously you have some slowdown there when you're fighting like huge waves of enemies.
You just want to kill them and get it over with. You don't necessarily want to take the time to run up to them and execute them. But
for the money, you're going to have to do it. And here we get our first glimpse of a map that actually popped up in the beta. This is kind of an alternate world version of Checkout, because you can see that it already has some of the fortifications in place.
Yep, we got some barbed wire there on the floor, and it looks like we have a sentry up on some sort of shelf.
Yeah, on the counter there. And if you'll notice, it looks like we're kind of speculating here, but the variant of the boomer that's walking in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, it looks like he might be sporting a one-shot.
So run.
Yeah, it's not going to be enjoyable to have your head popped off in the middle of a wave by this new kind of boomer. It's going to be tough. But I think that by giving the player so many more options in defense with turrets and sentry guns and as we'll see a
might be
little
okay.
a little later in the trailer, the
Yeah.
Silverbacks, yeah, they got to make tougher enemies to make it a fair fight. for
Tougher
the
enemies, such as this blood mount.
The Blood Mount, which doesn't care if there's cover or walls. It will
I was
leap
about to
over
do
them.
some honey badger there, but I'll stop. And now here you can see this is a turret view. Again, you can purchase a turret, you can upgrade it later with your monies, and you know you can man these and take down enemies that way.
And if you look at this view, if you can stop right there, you'll notice the turret is actually made up of, it looks like 4 different Retro Lancers, kind of duct taped together for a
For massive damage.
a quick job to help take down the enemy.
Now, the only question is, can you stab enemies that get too close to you?
If they walk blindly into it, yeah, they're going to get hurt. And you'll notice here another variant of kind of the fence trappings
Yes,
that's
this
going to
one
keep the
looks like
tickers out
a
of your
little
area.
bit more upgraded version of your, flimsy barbed wire. This one's
Yeah.
got some blades on it.
And looking ahead here too, they're going to have boom shields to worry about. You're going to see some of the Theron Sentinels coming at you with the torque bow. And overall,
Lots of dead guys.
yeah, a lot's coming at you. But here's where we get into the real meat of Horde 2.0. This is a map we haven't seen before, though it's reminiscent of the ship that we know the new game's kicking off on.
Yep.
But if you'll move forward a little bit, we see
Lasers.
lasers, which
Frickin'
we're
laser beams.
thinking. We haven't seen all the tiers of the defensive upgrades, but this is looking like a high-level one.
Yeah, I'm imagining that cost a little bit of money.
A little more
Just
than
a little bit.
razor wire or some, spiky pebbles that are going to hurt people's ankles.
So again, you got the sentry and then you got the turret stuff, but this turret actually has just regular old lancers with the chainsaws on them.
Yeah.
Not retro. Not sure if that's an upgrade or a downgrade.
I think point for point, the Retro Lancer is a little more powerful. So I think this might be closer to your starting point, unless they have like a pistol version of it. That's just
I don't think there's a pistol
nobody's
version.
going to want a man.
Now we've got some bad guys coming, and oh no, let it go. There you go, kick to the face.
We
Explosion.
were joking about this one because it looks like his
looks like he
execution
kicks him.
here is causing the explosion, but you can
was
tell
already
he's
leaking-
already on
he's
fire.
leaking
It was
gas.
coming.
But he just gave him a little nudge over the edge.
We have grenade tags that are going to play a huge part in the new multiplayer and horde modes, because you got to take out more than one guy at once. It's the only way to survive. And you stop right here. Go back
this is
maybe
some bad
to the
news right
scope,
here.
the scope point. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
We haven't seen berserkers in a while.
And now there are 3 of
You
them
get a nice
coming at
up-close
you.
view here through the one shot, which I don't think is going to be a single shot for this guy.
No.
And correct
my
me
God,
if
they
I'm
move
wrong,
like the
anyone out
Hulk.
there. It really does. We didn't see any berserkers in Gears of War 2, but these guys are enormous. It's been a while since I played
Fast.
Gears 1, but I gotta say, these guys,
These ladies are taking their drugs.
they're taking their drugs.
And these are not Lambent versions. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not glowing.
We
so
figured we'd see some yellow sections if they were. These are just all trouble.
just, oh man, 3 at once.
And you'll notice this one gets taken down by a mortar strike that's incoming right here. And once again, we see the Lancer version of the turrets. And overall, it's just kind of showing that these new maps are all about chaos. And back it up for a second. Here's a big new feature we discovered in this new trailer. It looks familiar to you, right? But if you'll notice, this is, I'd say, a baby corpser.
A mini-me.
A mini-me corpser.
Yeah.
I can picture maybe a level with a giant corpser.
Still something you probably don't want to be that close to, like the way they are in this trailer. I would imagine you want to back up a little bit, but hey, to each their own, I guess.
But it's looking like this new game's going to have a variation of corpsers, just of a smaller size. And when I think smaller, like we've seen the polyps already in some other trailers, like the little things coming in waves and waves.
Yes.
I'm thinking when you have a mini corpser, you're going to see more than one at a time. And I can't imagine that being friendly, because the big corpsers at least could put their arms over their eyes and kind of shield themselves from your attacks. So I'm assuming the babies can do it too, maybe to a lesser extent. Definitely a new enemy, though, we haven't seen before in any of the footage
This is a nice shot here of the silverback mech. This will be your best friend. You might want to pony up for it.
It's going to be pricey, but it looks like here too, we're thinking this is actually an upgraded version, because you'll notice that extra plated armor over the shins, what looks to be like maybe a boom shot on the left-hand arm, or at least some kind of cannon. We don't see it firing here, but there's definitely room for some bigger ammo.
It looks like it's got a little bit more juice.
A little more juice, yeah. And here's the first time we're actually seeing in this new trailer the lambent that we know are going to play a huge role in Gears of War 3.
We're not quite sure what it is, but it's really freaky. It's got a lot of limbs.
It's got a lot of limbs, and we saw that too in the first campaign trailer. There were smaller berserkers with limbs growing out of their backs, and it appears that they can just kind of mutate on the fly.
Yeah, it's sort of like Hydra. Like you
Yeah.
cut one off, and then another one like springs up, and it's pretty gross.
Yeah, but it's only a glimpse here, and it looks like, unfortunately for them, their sentry guns pointed the wrong way.
No, it's turning.
Okay.
You can see it. Like it doesn't quite make it in time. See, it starts out there, and then it's going that way.
Okay, we're hoping.
Getting there, and you don't know there could be enemies over on the
There
side.
might be, but I'm thinking the real trouble's over there in the corner.
Yeah, but no, the real trouble's right ahead because this is a Reaver, and these guys are really, really bad news.
They're obnoxious, and I'm thinking this is one of the boss waves we've talked about.
Yes.
One of the, every 10, you're going to get into some trouble, much like that.
It's going to be a random boss battle, so it could be anything. They'll just throw at you randomly. And it's not just the boss you're fighting, it's the boss plus enemies from that round too, so there's going to be a lot to deal with, which is why you need to heavily upgrade your fort.
Now, if you hold it right here, you're going to notice something I dare say is kind of awesome. We first thought it was an electric version of the Lancer, but it turns out this is a skin for the Lancer.
Yes, so it looks like he's being electrocuted. But it shouldn't actually change gameplay, so don't freak out too much. It just looks really cool. And also the upgraded fortification back there is actually a red laser now.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why.
We don't know if that's going to be above or below the purple lasers, but this is definitely the first time we've seen a lot of skins so far from the beta. There's been gold-plated, chrome-plated, but this is the first time we've seen anything with these kind of extra animations.
I just noticed he's being chainsawed and attacked by an upgraded sentry gun at the same time.
Awesome sentry gun. That's the one you're going to want helping you out when you start to run into the Brumac.
Indeed. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but the flags back there, you can see this one right here with Big Daddy Brumac. They indicate what round you're on, but they do refresh at 10, so it doesn't go up to 50. But yeah, so this is one of the bosses that we're talking about. At round 10, your first round in, a Brumac could come in and just completely
From the get-go,
dominate
you might end up getting, I don't want to say easier, but a smaller boss on your 50th round as compared to the 10th, assuming that the boss battles really are random as you go.
Yes. And here's how you unlock Griffin. You go like them on Facebook.
You're going to have to go click a button, and you will get yourself some
And it says
tea.
drama on his rings. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So I think the few things we noticed that were brand new here, we hadn't seen before, baby corpsers, mini-me corpsers, the electric skins for the Lancer.
Yes.
And it's actually the first time we've seen some of these upgraded versions of the fortifications.
Yeah. So some good stuff here, but that's all we have for you right now. Still, for more things Gears of War, head over to IGN.com.